Hearing for Hillsborough Transit Authority, HART. The time is 5:06 p.m., January 25th, 2023. Please stand as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, you may be seated. My name is Jesus. I'm with HART Planning and Scheduling, and I'll be conducting the meeting. We will present a brief overview of the May 2023 service changes. HART intends to inform the public of the changes throughout the service network that will begin in May 2023 in order to continue meeting the county's transportation needs. After the meeting, I need to read the public comment instructions, and then whoever wants to speak up, they can do so then. Okay. So, presentation's up. So this is a summary of the changes. The main highlights are that we managed to increase frequency on 3 routes, 5 and 32, and then Route 19 only during peaks. There is one new service thanks to a sponsorship from FDOT and other partners, the Uptown Circulator. We'll talk about it. 3 new on-demand services, or Hard Flex. Right now, there's only one in South County. We'll add one in East Fletcher towards USF, Port Tampa down very South Tampa, and the Uptown Circulator I just mentioned. There will be no change in service hours. No route. All routes will run from as early as they run today to as late as they run today. There will be no reductions in frequency, so all routes keep their bulk frequency, their main frequency, the same. And no service is eliminated. On the right, you can see some other highlights. Some routes have minor routing changes, minor scheduling changes, just how service winds down at the end and the beginning of the day. And I'll go one by one, but this is like the summary. There were a few routes that were changing originally, that we heard the feedback from the public and we reverted those, or I guess canceled those changes. So I'll start. We wanted to show you this. There's been concern about how the minor tweaks to the schedule might affect people. So this is just to show that the bulk of a ridership is 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. We are not eliminating service out of that frame. We're still, as I said, going from as early as we go today to as late as we go today. But we might be like adjusting things here and there. So route by route, I'm gonna go only through the routes we're changing. We also have slides and your packets that you have also have all the routes, not just the ones that are changing. But for the sake of time, I'll just go through the ones that do change. So Route 1, the only change is adjusting how the frequency winds down in the evening. So right now it's every 15 until 8 p.m. The proposal is to make it every 15 until 6, and then 6 to 9 every 30, and then after 9 hourly. So that allows us to save some resources while still providing service. The service hours remain the same, as early and as late as it does today, and the routing is not changing. Originally, we were proposing changing the downtown part. It's staying the same. Route 5. It's one of the routes getting a frequency increase to every 30 minutes, 6 to 6 weekdays. We have a routing change. We have Route 5 overlaps with other routes, 15 and 12. So to optimize that and avoid repeating each other and competing against each other. Route 5 will go on 7th Avenue, and Route 12 will be the Palm Avenue service. So we'll get there. Then Route 6, it's no change in the routing. We were splitting it into two before. That's not happening. And
There's no change? Ooh.
the schedule is the only thing that changed a little bit. So the 20-minute will be just 6 to 6. And then before 6, and then 6 to 9 p.m., before 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., it'll be every 30, and then after 9, it'll be hourly. That's the only change to Route 6.
Oh.
Route 7, schedule is not changing, it's just a route, instead of ending at HCC, it will come back and end at West Tampa Transfer Center. We're bringing that one back online.
Good.
So, and then after leaving West Tampa, it'll go back downtown. Route 10, we had proposed a Route 11, which was a partnership with FDOT. We merged that with Route 10, so the Cypress Street service will still be there. Instead of going from MTC South through downtown, it'll go up through Palm Avenue, Armature Works, because we don't really have any service on Palm Avenue towards Armature Works. Our Palm Avenue service is east of there.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And then we'll take Cypress to Lois, to International Plaza, to West Shore Plaza. The headway still, or the frequency is still every hour, and the span of service changes a little bit because the Route 10 runs really late today because of the airport connection, but that's we see very little use there. The main airport route is Route 30, and that's what we've heard from members of the public. So that's why the new Route 11 doesn't need to run as late. Route 12, 22nd Street, as I mentioned earlier, it will stay on Palm all the way to downtown. The little piece of Neutral and Nebraska, that would be Route 5. And then instead of being every 30 the whole day, it'll be every 30 from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. And that allows us to save some resources while still keeping frequency where the bulk of the ridership is. Route 14, no changes to schedule, just the alignment on the south end. Instead of taking South Howard Avenue and Bayshore Boulevard, we'll take McDill Avenue. We have seen low ridership in the South Howard area and some operational concerns in Bayshore Boulevard, so that's what motivated this change. Route 16, it's the route staying the same. We were changing it before, but it's, people said they didn't like that idea, and we concur. So the only change is the schedule, just like Route 12 and all the other 30-minute routes. It'll be every 30 from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. and hourly outside of that time frame. Route 17 will be converted into a flex. So kind of like the South County service. It's stop to stop, so it'll be app-based, kind of like ride share. You request a ride from X stop to Y stop. We come pick you up, take you there. And slowly but surely it'll grow to cover the entire area. So even people on West Shore Boulevard and Del Mabry Highway will get to solicit a ride and to X destination within that zone. The service hours are not changing, and it'll still be hourly. So every hour you're able to get to Britain Plaza, for example. Route 19, no changes to routing, no changes to span of service. The only change is higher frequency during the rush hour, so 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. That's because we see a lot of destinations along Route 19, including 2 big hospitals. Route 32, it's the other lucky receiver of higher frequency every 30 minutes. We don't have that many frequent routes west, so Route 32 will add to that. So that will be 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on weekdays. And then on West Tampa, so that we can connect with the transfer center, it'll take Himes instead of Del Mabry. There aren't that many stops on Del Mabry there because of ditches and turn lanes. So, and we're serving more of the neighborhood proper. The span of service is the same. Route 33 on the west side, UATC to the hospital remains the same. The east side will become a flex, kind of like the Port Tampa that I just explained, but just for the Hidden River area, the area north of Fletcher to Bruce B. Downs and south of Fletcher to Fowler, all those neighborhoods that we don't reach with the current Route 33, we would be reaching with this new service. Same service hours as today, and yeah, every hour as well. Route 34, Hillsborough Avenue, the routing and the service hours are not changing, it's just the adjustments to the frequency like we talked about for Route 1 and Route 6. So it'll still be every 20, 6 to 6, then it tapers down 30 and 60, because those are the lower demand times of the day. Route 39, similar, no change to alignment or service hours, just the, instead of being every 30 all day, it'll just be 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. and then hourly outside of that. Route 42, same like 39 and 12, every 36 a.m. to 9 p.m., but the routing and the service hours are not changing. Route 45, same with the 30-minute, and the alignment will, instead of Del Mabry, will take Himes to enable connections with West Tampa Transfer Center and to serve more the neighborhood and less ditches and turn lanes. The service hours will remain the same. Route 360 LX, there is only one tiny change. We'll deviate it to be closer to the Brandon Mall. Right now, the walk from Causeway Boulevard to the mall is quite long. So by doing this, we help reduce that walking time. Route 400, no change to service hours or routing, just the headways in the evening, a little adjustment there. The South County Flex, the only change is that we're adding the Publix on US 41 as a stop. That Publix is outside the service area, but we've gotten a lot of requests to go there. So we are expanding it to get there, which kind of exemplifies what I talked about earlier for Port Tampa and East Fletcher. As people request to go here or there, we'll adjust the service. The new service is the HeartFlex Uptown Circulator. It'll be a one-way loop, kind of like Route 42 and 44, around the USF area, Bruce B. Downs, University Mall, Moffitt Cancer Center. And it'll offer flex opportunities, so you can request to be picked up at your door or to be dropped off at your destination within the proximity of the route. Why are we proposing these changes? The community has requested frequency repeatedly. For that, we need resources. We have the same budget, so we're trying to move things around to within that budget, provide better frequency. We optimize ridership and resources and provide better service to that community, the service that has been requested. The next steps, so today is the hearing. We'll gather your feedback. We'll go to the hard board on Monday, February 6th, and then the service changes will start in mid-May. There are other important dates, not to be confused. There'll be a service change in February, but that's just scheduling, kind of like September, adjusting to change in traffic and things like that. And the streetcar will increase to every 12 minutes starting in March during weekends, 1 to 9 p.m. So don't confuse February and March with the May. We're just talking about May now, but we wanted to bring that up to avoid confusion. So thank you. Questions or
Yeah,
comments? But we'll first, I need to read the procedure. So that's all. There's my contact info. So during this meeting, anyone who wants to comment verbally will need to sign up at the table and put a check mark if you are requesting to speak. I'm sure you already told my colleague if you want to speak. Make sure you sign in because we need to have record of everybody who's here, whether they're speaking or not. Each speaker is called in the order they signed up. You do not need to stay for the duration of the meeting after providing your comment. Written comment cards are available at the signing table if you want to write your statement instead of saying it. All public comments are afforded equal consideration regardless of the format they are received. All comments are limited to 3 minutes and limited to the subject matter of this hearing. So we're only talking about the main service changes. And you may only speak once. At the end of your 3 minutes, we will allow you to finish your sentence and ask the next speaker to come up. Review the general rules for public comment before making your statement. The purpose of this meeting is to provide the community with the opportunity to be heard. Hard staff members are available to answer questions, and additional information is available at the sign-in table. A summary of verbal and written comments received will be provided to the HARD Board of Directors for review. All public comments will be afforded equal consideration regardless of format. The HARD Board will consider the proposed service changes at their February 6th board meeting. So the time is 5:22 p.m. We will now open the floor for comments. Well, I'll get the list. So our first public comment is from Sonia Crum.
I know, I was concerned about 15. Should I fill out a comment card since you didn't talk about bus 15?
Oh, we can show you. I have some appendix slides. Route 15 is not changing.
Well, I'm concerned about that.
Okay.
If you want to go to the IRS building on Boy Scout Boulevard,
Okay.
you have to get off on this side of Dale Mabry.
Okay.
And then if you miss that, you have to get off at International Mall and walk back. What's the reasoning behind that? You used to could get off, because I've been riding the buses for years, at a bus stop that was not far from the IRS office.
Okay. Well,
That's a long walk.
yeah, I know we appreciate the comment. Those things we can take a look at. This service change is more like high level, but those things definitely we will take note of it and make sure we look into possibly adding a stop that's more convenient.
Yes, I know you don't have much thoroughfare because of how Boy Scout Boulevard, is laid out. But I think years ago, you used to get off before International Mall, because there was a bench there. Then you could cross the street and go to IRS building. And I did that. I said, I needed to go there, and I had to walk back from International Mall. Was that 4 or 5 blocks? So if you guys in your planning can try to put at least one stop, that would benefit a lot of people, because I really think that's too long of a walk.
Yeah, definitely. We'll make note of it and look into it. Thank you.
That's all.
That's all? Okay, thank you. Our next speaker would be Larry Thurman? Thurman? Okay.
Yes.
Apologies.
Oh, that's okay, no problem. Yeah, you were mentioning about tweaking in February, you said you're gonna tweak the schedules. Just, are you gonna be tweaking the times on the schedules, or what?
Yeah, it is mostly for from like the travel time.
Uh-huh.
So the departures will be similar, like if you are used to taking your bus out of Marion Transit Center at 5 a.m.,
Mhm.
that will stay the same, but we will change the time it takes to get places so that we can make sure it's more timely.
Are you also gonna be tweaking the route, all the routes, or just,
No, about
some?
half the routes,
Half
like
the routes.
13 routes, and outreach on that is forthcoming. Do you have any comments about the May service change?
No, I don't know, just mainly
Okay.
the, tweaking of the system you're talking about. at the
Yeah.
very end.
No, we'll provide more information on that. We can talk offline if you want.
Yes, I appreciate this, thank you.
Okay? Our next speaker is Alan Brewster.
A couple of comments. I'm not sure why that they're having the Route 12 go to Tampa Street and the Route 5 go down 7th Avenue because Route 5 picks up a lot of seniors from the senior housing on 40th. And a few of those people get off at the YMCA, so you're taking that away from them. So if you taking them being able to take one bus, and then they get off and walk, or be inconvenienced and go downtown and wait. I don't know how that 5 is gonna come out leaving downtown. Is it still gonna come down Palm Florida to Palm?
No, that would be just the 12. The 5 would take Nebraska and Nucho. I know like what the 12 does today.
So you're taking that, you wiping that out for them. You
Okay.
just wipe that out. Okay, nobody on the 12 goes to the YMCA. It's Route 5. And my other comment is that, a lot of this service is not a connect service. And I give you an example. On Sundays on Route 36, you got a person coming from Port Tampa. They work over there in Port Tampa. And the person wants to connect with the 45. But the 45 leaves the mall 50 after. And the Route 36 is just getting to Kennedy as that bus is pulling out. So they can't make a connection with that bus. So now they have to wait another 30-something minutes. But I'm just saying that these buses don't connect, or if you're at Neck Park, you're on the 39, you're pulling in, and all of the 37, the 38, all of them buses is pulling out as you pulling in. So, I mean, data don't fix everything. You have to see this and be on this bus to know that this is happening. And I see it every day. And if people get upset and they yelling at the driver, stop, let me off. I can't, because it's not safe.
Yeah.
So Hart needs to do a better job at looking at those type of things.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate your comment. We can evaluate that. That's something we can do 3 or 4 times a year, those changes to make sure
But that's
they match.
training. You have to train the staff. Like, you have a supervisor there. Why does the supervisor have the buses hold and wait for that bus to get into that transit center? But that's training.
Yeah, okay, that's 3 minutes. Thank you for your comment.
Do you
We
have a
are-
window
did
when
you
buses?
stop that?
Yes.
Okay, we'll get to you right in a moment. Thank you for bringing up the senior to YMCA connection. That's good to know. We'll definitely evaluate that. As for the connections, yes, that's something we could, February is already on the works, but we might be able to look into it for May. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. So our next speaker would be Tina.
That's me. Hi, just to kind of piggy off what Mr. Brewster said. There's a real problem with bus connecting. I take the bus frequently because I have a disability, so I'm unable to drive. And it makes no sense as sometimes as I'm coming to UATC or Marion Transit, the bus is leaving. And I've called, I've written emails, and then the people tell me that they're gonna call me, but they haven't.
Okay.
Customer service sucks. You're on customer service for an hour for a late bus. I ride the 33 quite frequently. I see the bus go down on time and then they leaving late, and then they're racing, trying to get back on track, not understanding that when you have routes that are connector, the 33 is connecting to the 36, you gotta get to UATC. Those buses need to connect. And all these people making decisions, they don't ride the bus. So when you all say that you're having these meetings, I notice that the meetings aren't when people, working normal people can attend. They're beneficial for Heart. Heart does not ride the bus. The community rides the bus. So Heart needs to do a better job of really listening, ride all the routes, not just the routes that you deem safe, not just the routes that you deem, okay, I feel safe. No, all the routes to actually see how long it takes for a person. I have to plan, it takes me 2.5 hours to get to where I'm going, just because the routes are not connected. And the public has been saying something about this. Another comment, I'm gonna wrap up. You all took away the ridership for people with disabilities. Training, there's people in the community, they can't drive for whatever reason. It's a valid reason. Heart needs to be autism friendly, and they're not.
Thank you. I
No, I
appreciate
can't
your
say
comment.
anything, but it's awful customer service with the drivers. They
Okay.
so nasty.
Yeah. So, thank you for the comment. We'll take it under advisement. That's good to know. As I said earlier, we can look into connections for May or otherwise. And all your points are well taken. Thank you. Oh, a good note there. We are currently putting together the Riders Advisory Committee, RAC. That would be a committee, part of the governance of Heart, made just by riders, so no Heart staff there. So if you would like to join, you can talk to us, or anybody really. You can talk to us afterwards. That's part of the things we want to discuss there. Because, as you said, we do have staff riding the buses, but we have 100 buses out there at a given time, so we need more than 3 or 4 people riding the buses. So we want to hear from dozens of people that ride the bus. Thank you. Okay, our next speaker is Marshall.
Yeah, that can be me. Yeah, some of these changes, I'm okay with, because certain areas, this doesn't affect. But like what this gentleman spoke about and what this young lady spoke about are major concerns. Because I also have a disability, and I'm about to start using that YMCA, and I can catch number 5 from my home. But if you're cutting out this area here to get to the YMCA, then that poses a problem for me. I have no muscular issues. I can't walk as far away from where y'all proposing is, from there to the YMCA. So that's gonna be, like the gentleman said, a challenge for me. And my disability, again, it impinges on my drive. I can't drive like her. So I have to rely on the public transportation system. And the connections, they're horrendous. I mean, just like they spoke about, buses leaving when the bus is pulling in, you need to connect. That's something that really needs to be addressed, because that is posing a serious problem. And as this community continues to grow as it is, and ridership begins to rise, these missing connections and even sometimes the attitude of some of these people, you know, are becoming problematic. Now, I do wanna say this, as far as this rider advisory committee, I'll also put in an application, you know, for that. So I received one email, but that was it. Now, when is it going to be situated, and how many people is going to be on this advisory, and when is it going to begin? Because if we can't have a committee to get input from the community to bring to you all, then where's the solution?
Yeah, no, thank you for your comment. You have anything else?
Yeah, when you
Well,
right
I'm not sure we have.
is about to be
Okay,
scheduled.
but we can talk more offline. As for the writers.
Okay, how we gonna talk over that? Well, I know.
Oh, like after the, you can talk to any of
Mr.
us.
Marshall, I'll speak to you about the rec act.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we will still be here, but the public comment officially
Yeah, I
needs to
understand,
be
it's
3
3
minutes.
minutes, I got it,
Yeah.
okay, I got it.
But yeah, we're, have good people working on that rack to get it up and going as soon as possible. So our next speaker would be Mr. Jerry.
Good evening, I'm Jerry Neely, Reverend Neely, and I ride buses. I'm currently working with University of South Florida, Florida A&M University, and we have projects that we are considering with the Clean Energy Center at USF and the Brooksville Agricultural and Environmental Research Station, which is a 3,800 acre farm at Brooksville, Florida A&M. And so one of the things that we have that we're considering is electric vehicles and charging stations. We have a pilot project that we are talking about undertaking. We've been selected to do it. One of the things happened about 3 years ago at University of South Florida. I was there when they unveiled the electric mass transit bus from a company out on the West Coast. And they were in conversations with Philadelphia Mass Transit about purchasing those buses, because they had solved the fundamental problem, which is the time it takes to charge a battery. And they got it down to 10 minutes. So my question is, are we, the last page addresses a matter which I think is correct. It says that all of the things considered, budget must stay level. So my question is, the changes that are undertaken, are we budget restricted? Are there any other federal or other funds available? Or have we looked into it? If there were a type of transportation system that you could put in place that would relieve the cost and you would have savings, would you all be open to that kind of decision, or conversation, excuse me? I think that would be apropos. And then.
I have to cut you out there though,
Okay.
because the 3 minutes are out. But thank you, I appreciate the comment. There is an electric vehicle conversation going on, definitely. In terms of budget, these changes are not cuts or additions to the budget, it's just the same. There are opportunities out there, federal, state, and otherwise, to seek more funding for things like electric vehicles, charging infrastructure, and more services. So yeah, those are all things we're looking into, but we appreciate the reminder.
Okay.
Do we have anybody else signed on to speak? No, that's it. Okay. So, Is there anyone else wishing to comment?
You mean, I've already spoken and I know you said only once.
Yeah, no, I mean, within that public comment session, which is just once. We can talk more afterwards, but
Okay.
for the formality of it,
Okay, I understand because we're recording and it's virtual and all that.
yeah.
Okay.
So I am required to ask again, is there anyone else wishing to comment? Okay. Seeing no speakers, this hearing is recessed and will commence again when speakers present themselves. The time right now is 5:41. This meeting is scheduled until 7. We'll do the presentation once again, maybe in like 20-30 minutes for like people who come in afterwards. But while, do we like close this one and then open it again? Okay, so we're closing this one, okay. So we have, let me see. Thank you for joining the May 2023 Proposed Service Changes Public Hearing. There are no additional questions or comments, so we will now end the public comment portion of the hearing. Thank you for your participation. This public hearing is officially closed. The time is 5:42.
Good. All right, so the recording is over, so we can just.
Yeah, we can.
Talk. Okay.
Let me
Yeah.
announce after.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the chart here, they have reference.
No, I said, you know, something you could comment.
It's a joke. I'm trying to explain.
Yeah, we're trying to address the concerns with public information.
We're trying to meet.
I'm proud
Certain
of the
people bring
changes
certain
made,
people.
Okay, which areas?
the frequency with
I'm
5,
not sure, I couldn't tell you right hand spot back, but we do have it broken down a lot.
34, but
Can assist you further.
and 30 is
I'm trying to, trust me,
still
if
every
you
hour.
received the survey on when we were gonna meet, when the meeting was.
Well, that was even scheduled. This is my, the communication is forward. That's what I did. I train people how to communicate. And what I'm talking about, you want to put information out there, but it's not in the best way. Like,
Yeah, I like that.
It's out there, but it's not out there. It's not out there. People who are really interested can actually see it. Okay,
I went into,
and so that's my thing, they do put it out there, but it's not, like the meetings, I miss the meetings because I have to live, I have to work.
Yeah, we definitely, and so that's why we do wanna try to introduce a virtual.
I'm
It should be virtual.
Yeah, we
To get around.
we try to meet a bunch of different times in terms of new. We tried a bunch of different.
there's 30, no change of any kind.
We don't want to city in terms of
They're busy in the morning, and they're busy in the evenings. So 5 to 7, the traffic is die down around 6 o'clock. So, meetings a little earlier, we try to do 4:35. So it is a challenge, you know, we're not able to
Yeah, that's-
satisfy everything.
You said 30.
We've already been through COVID.
Yes, because I did out
Where we have the
We're
resources
sure.
there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I want
It's
to
hard to
really
utilize.
Yeah.
So if I am on the bus, I can still participate. If I do have a parent conference, just like
But
this
that,
rebranding,
you guys, if you're planning.
but you're forgetting about the customer service piece. Okay, it can look brand new, but the actual customer service, do you know how long it takes me to even voice a concern? It's 2-3 hours you get on, you go back and call, tell you they're gonna call, they don't call, I provided my number, oh, I'm calling you right now, and they don't. It's just a lack of customer service, point blank, period. But then the Bible says, taking people places, But where are you taking us to? Like, I'm very concerned.
Everybody's a part of it.
Well, did you know Florida is an autism-friendly state? But part is an autism-friendly company.
Yeah, that's
So
in
these are
house.
concerns that I have as a person with disabilities, as a parent of children with disabilities. And then you all take services away, you never consult us. You never consult the community that you're taking away like that. Most of the people that ride the bus, that's another issue I have. You need to get white collar people riding the bus. Where are you? You've got doctors, attorneys, lawyers. We all ride the bus together. You got a bunch of, excuse my language, drug infested derelicts cause problems on the bus. And then you all don't protect your drivers. I've seen it. I've personally seen that driver is doing his or her job. And the customers upfront that you all let ride for free.
And they'll be able to
They
find.
don't need to be on the bus. You can't come and pay your fare and sit down. You don't need to ride the bus.
Yeah, it was planned.
There's people riding their children on the bus. I see it. And what are the supervisors doing? They're cars up and down and sitting in their cars. Get out your car. I've missed the bus because people are acting a fool. Acting a fool. It's like I'm a military girl. I've been on never in my life have I seen such a horrible bus at the basic level. Just understand. And the sad thing is, the majority of the people making these decisions don't even ride the bus. I know, I ride the bus. That's how I found out the city. I've been on every bus. Y'all don't ride the bus. Y'all ride safe routes.
Yeah, I mean, so.
Y'all ride safe
Yeah,
routes.
so I think you bring up a great insight, and I'll tell you, if there was something disconnect there, it's complete. But I'm just saying, I think honestly, with the wrap up, we are going through the process. I was mentioning that we're trying to get representation throughout the county.
This is the thing.
Yeah, well, we get to do this,
Don't get me wrong.
And then from there,
Yeah, you're saying the customer experience.
Yeah, not just the customer experience, I don't like the training.
why don't you explain to Hardy downtown?
Right, and what I'm saying is that,
Okay, all right.
about the seats, there was very deceived people that get on the bus, and they really don't know what they're doing, right? And you can see it, but
Instead of crossing 56, you do.
when they hire a driver,
Okay, well, I'll
just
talk to
because
the
they have
county.
like the other means professional.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, right? It just doesn't, but I think that art, if they had a program trainer, you gotta.
they do that every time.
Go through procedures, scenarios of how to deal with autism. Somebody that's on drugs.
6 to 9. Oh, you may
Just keep getting them
and then you
videos
take the 9 where?
and a piece of paper saying this is how you do it. Right? Because you don't do that with the firefighter, you don't do that with the police officer, you don't do that with the doctor. They train, or whatever you want to call it, repeatedly. They go in and do simulation.
But then to
And
take
this
6
thing
to
is
8.
underperforming.
Okay, all right.
I'll stay first.
I mean, it could be so much better than what it is.
Okay, thank you so much.
I just think that
I appreciate
they
it.
just haven't tapped into it to get it there.
Basically,
Is that
Older man.
funding.
Alex, well,
I came from a way they have a permanent tax just for bus, right? So they don't have an issue with funding.
Oh, they tried to do that here, but it didn't happen.
But this is the problem. You gotta go out and you gotta educate the community. That's why you need white collar.
so you can.
Because you got smart white collar and they know, they understand.
Cause I'm on
The
that bus.
general location where you start.
So yes, I'm on that family.
You're
So
different
yes, I'm
routes.
going to vote for it. The average person
Okay.
on the bus today,
We can look at ways to optimize your.
you know why?
Possible.
Because they
So
trying to
if
make
you
sure
want, you
people
can
work
return
on
to
time,
that.
right? Where's my bus? So if you have inconsistencies, you order a bus 1 year, and you go 3 years without ordering buses. So that is a funding issue that needs to be addressed at the highest level. Don't put it on the ballot with the county,
Is the transfer
city,
too long?
no, just park. Have
No,
a
I
robust
think-
plan.
No,
Be transparent, show the people where this
Also,
money
you
gonna
just
go.
change
X
buses
amount of dollars
But it's-
gonna order so many buses, we're gonna order buses every year, right? So you ain't gonna have to worry about these buses breaking down in the middle of service,
The one.
right? Until you do that,
37,
they
yes.
keep saying they want Tampa to be the cost of Tampa. You ain't gonna be the cost until you clean up all this, you know, those little things. You can't be.
Oh, at the end.
That's why I
Yeah,
heard
okay.
each of you, I hope you've already
Yeah.
elected.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was mentioning
What I,
Yeah.
what I wanted to say was that I get service
Yeah.
from Hillsborough County.
Working.
And on, the questionnaire, one of the questions was, rate the bus driver's attitude, say from 1 to 5, I probably gave it a 2.
Okay.
Listen, I think, I'm a retired nurse, every now and then, I go to and workshops. I think that somebody needs to write a grant so these bus drivers can get training on customer service. Just like I had to go to those workshops to keep my job. Somebody need to write a grant. We keep talking about funding. Write a grant, Department of Mental Health in Tallahassee, Washington DC. So maybe what they also. But
I want to say I'm also married to a bus driver. Part of that is,
Oh, yeah.
as a public, we have to understand their stress.
But that's why I just said.
Right, people don't handle stress very well, you know, they're not taught. But sometimes, right, but sometimes it's not the driver. The driver is only responding to foolishness. I see it every day.
I know they do, but I'm a very courteous.
I am too.
I'm a treating so God, let me like I'm a smoke crack without it on the
Because that's what they encounter, so because I'm aware of that, I just, you know, you have to get right. And then I actually told them, hey, have a good day, so I think that goes back to her not supporting you. You guys aren't
I
supporting.
just said.
Right, we're just saying the same thing. I'm a solution. Yes, solution.
I'm a solution.
I'm a former teacher, so I get it. We're both white collar. And then someone about them, like at a certain time, I know I'm not gonna be on the bus, period, point blank. It's not safe. And these are the things that I don't think is working. It
Like I
needs to
said,
be
they tried to do that there, they tried to have oversight here.
continuous. It needs to be from the bottom as
Well,
as the
it
top.
got voted down because, well, the reason why it got voted down is because they didn't take the positions
They
right.
went down that step,
And
they the kids getting off the bus,
vetoed
they
it
so
because
courteous.
it usurped the
But like I
authority
said,
of the
I ride the bus,
county.
they
They
all
want to have an
around.
independent oversight.
They surely and short, I even ask questions because I'm so nervous.
Because I didn't even know about.
They, somebody was so right.
Well, they said that they can, that the power.
Good evening, everyone. We welcome to the public hearing for Hillsborough Transit Authority, HART. The time is 6:43 p.m. Please stand as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Should we do that part? Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. My name is Jesus with HART Planning and Scheduling. I will be conducting this meeting. This meeting is recorded. PART intends to inform the public of the changes throughout the service network that will begin in May 2023 in order to continue meeting the county's transportation needs. We will now present a brief overview of the May 2023 proposed service changes, and afterwards we'll do public comment. So this is a summary of the changes. The main highlights are 3 routes getting more frequency from every hour. They will now be every 30 minutes. 1 area with new service, the Uptown Circulator USF area. That's a partnership with FDOT and other partners. 3 new on-demand services or Parkflex. East Fletcher, Hidden River area, Port Tampa, and the Uptown Circulator. There will be no changes in service hours on any route. No corridor will be losing frequency. All the existing frequency remains throughout the bulk of the day. And no services eliminated. On the right, you can see some of the summary of the changes, the routing. Some routes are rerouted through different streets. Some scheduling changes in terms of how the frequency varies throughout the day. And then the routes with no changes, which some of them we had originally proposed to change, but they're no longer changing. So we'll go one by one, so don't worry about spending too much time on that slide. This is just to show that the majority of our riders use the service between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. So about 4 out of every 5 trips happen in that time period. We are not taking service away from the outside of that period, but we are tweaking things here and there to be able to provide more service to the bulk of the ridership. So now we're going to go route by route, just for the routes that are changing. If you didn't see a route here, it means it's not changing for May. Route 1 is Florida Avenue. No change at all, only the frequency in the evening. After 6 p.m. it would be every 30, and after 9 it would be every hour, but it remains every 15, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. The routing stays the same. We had originally changed downtown. We're keeping it as it is today. Route 5, 2 changes. It's going to be every 30 minutes during weekdays, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And instead of taking Palm Avenue, it would go on 7th Avenue to avoid duplicating Route 12 and 15. So, but Palm Avenue will still have service, but it will be Route 12. We'll get there. Route 6, no changes as originally proposed. Only the frequency is changing, so we'll have, it's still every 20 minutes, but only 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then after 6 or p.m. or before 6 a.m. it's every 30. And then after 9 p.m. it's every hour. Route 7, it's still every hour, it still begins at the same time and ends at the same time. But we are, instead of ending at the college on Tampa Bay Boulevard, it would go around and end at West Tampa Transfer Center on Himes. And then when it leaves West Tampa Transfer Center, it would go back to downtown. So we're still serving everything it serves today, just enabling connections at the transfer center. Route 10 and Route 11, we had originally proposed a new Route 11. We are merging Route 11 with Route 10, so Cypress Street still maintains its service, but from downtown, instead of going from Marion Transit Center through downtown, it would go through Tampa Heights and Armature Works, and then on the west end, it would go up Lois Avenue to International Plaza and end at West Shore Plaza. It's every hour. The span of changes, the service hours changed a little bit because the very late night service on Route 10 was just because of the airport, but we don't see much usage there. Most of the airport ridership is on routes 30 and 32, especially the downtown to airport link. Route 30 is the big one there. Route 12, as mentioned earlier, it'll be the Palm Avenue service. the part down Neutral Parkway and Nebraska Avenue, that would be on Route 5 now. And in terms of the frequency, it would be every 30 still, but only 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. instead of the whole day. It still operates before 6 a.m. and after 9 p.m., but every hour. Route 14, no changes to the schedule, only the routing changes. Instead of taking South Howard and Bayshore Boulevard, it would go on McDill Avenue. It speeds up the route a little bit and avoids areas that see low usage. Route 16, no changes to the routing. The original proposal was not well received, so we're keeping it as it is. Just the 30-minute frequency, it's 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. instead of all day. But it still works outside that time frame, just less frequent. Route 17 would become a hard flex service, which is stop-to-stop service on demand. You solicit a ride, we pick you up at a stop, drop you off at another stop, and slowly grow with demand depending on where people request to be taken to. Route 19, no changes. To the routing and the service hours, only the frequency, it would be every 30 during rush hour, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Route 32 is also going to be more frequent, every 30 minutes, 6 to 6 during weekdays. And the routing, just a minor change. Instead of Del Mabry, would go on Himes Avenue to connect with West Tampa Transfer Center and serve more of the neighborhood. Del Mabry doesn't have that many bus stops because of ditches and turn lanes. Route 33, the west part, University area to Hospital, remains the same. The east part, University area to Hidden River, becomes a flex service. Kind of like West Tampa, Port Tampa, that we were just talking about. The service hours remain the same, and it's still every hour. Route 34, the only change is the frequency, kind of like 1 and 6. Instead of being every 20 until 7 p.m., it'll be every 20 until 6 p.m., every 30 minutes until 9. This allows us to save some resources while focusing the bulk of it where most of our riders use the service, but still serving the late night, early morning. Route 39, their routing is not changing. The frequency, it's still every 30 minutes, but 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. instead of the whole day. Still early morning and late night, but every hour. Route 42, no changes, only the frequency, just like 39 and 12, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. every 30 minutes, hourly outside of that. Same for Route 45, and additionally, the routing, instead of taking Del Mabry, it will take Himes. Similar argument to Route 32, connections at West Tampa, serving the neighborhood and neighborhoods along Himes. Route 360LX, just a very minor change, a deviation to get closer to the mall. Right now, Causeway Boulevard, walking from Causeway to the mall takes a while, so we hope to reduce that walking time with this change. Route 400, it's just a schedule. Like Route 1, it's still every 15 minutes, but only 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. 30 minutes outside of that period, and after 10 p.m. it would be every hour. South County, hard flex, it stays the same. The only addition is the Publix on US 41, which kind of links to what mentioned earlier about Port Tampa. We have gotten a lot of requests to get to that Publix, so we're adapting to that. That's the one of the advantages of hard flex. The Uptown Circulator is a hard flex service as well. It's a new service with some sponsorships. It would be a one-way loop, kind of like Route 42 and 44, but more towards Fowler, USF area, connecting University Mall, Moffitt Cancer Center, and some parts of the campus itself. And it would have a flex option to pick up at certain address, drop off at a certain address. The purpose of this, the intent, the community asks for frequency over and over again, and that requires resources. So we have to stay within the same budget, so we are moving things around so that we can provide some extra frequency and optimize resources and ridership and get closer to meeting the community's needs. The next steps in this process are we're conducting the public hearing today and gathering feedback. Then we'll go to the HART Board of Directors on February 6th for approval. Once approved, the service changes will begin on Sunday, May 14th. Other important dates to avoid confusion in February will be adjusting schedules, similar to what we did in September, is to adjust to traffic. It's not related to the main service change. Then in March, the streetcar will go every 12 minutes, starting in March. Every 12 minutes during weekends in the afternoon, evening. And then after that, we have the May. So we only point that out here to avoid confusions between those two changes and the main change. That's a big change that we're doing the hearing for today and that we require board approval for. Thank you. There's my contact information, and we're going to do public comments now. I think I'm required to ask if someone here. Oh no, I first need to read the rules. During this meeting, anyone who wants to comment verbally will need to sign up at the table and put a check mark if you are requesting to speak. Each speaker is called in the order they sign up. You do not need to stay for the duration of the meeting after providing your comment. Written comment cards are available at the signing table in case you don't want to speak publicly. Public comments are afforded equal consideration regardless of the format. For our virtual viewers, there is a chat option. Okay. All public comments are limited to 3 minutes and limited to the subject matter of this hearing, which are the main service changes. And you may only speak once. At the end of the 3 minutes, we'll allow you to end your sentence and ask the next speaker to come up. Please review the rules for comment before making your statement. The purpose of the meeting is to provide the community the opportunity to be heard. HART staff members are available to answer questions, and additional information is available at the signing table after the public comment. A summary of the verbal and written comments received will be provided to the HART board for review. All public comments will be afforded equal consideration regardless of format. The HART board will consider the proposed service changes at the February 6th meeting. The time is 6:57 p.m. and I will now open the floor for comments. We do not have anyone signed up for comments. I am required to ask, is there anyone else wishing to comment? Is there anyone else wishing to comment? I'm required to say it twice. Seeing no speakers, this hearing is recessed and we'll, sorry, I'll skip that part. The time is 6:57. Thank you for joining May 2023 Proposed Service Changes Public Hearing. Since there are no additional questions or comments, we will now end the public comment portion of the hearing. Thank you for your participation. This hearing is officially closed. The time is still 6:57 p.m.